and welcome to Wildly Curious, where the questions are unhinged, the science is real, and honestly, we're just getting started. I'm Laura.
And I'm Katie. And...
Ever wonder why a bat might glow? Or how frogs made it to space long ago? Dinosaurs trained for delivery runs. We're asking the questions, the weird ones. Wildly curious, where science gets strange and kinda hilarious. For nature's wonders to ancient funk, it's facts and fun rolled into one big chunk. Wildly curious, weird is wonderful. Come join the fuss.
So if you didn't listen to our first episode, you might have noticed something a little bit different. We have a freaking theme song now, guys.
Yeah, boy.
Which is exciting. And then hopefully you stuck around after that episode then to listen to the whole thing. Because, I mean, you got to jam out to it. It's just way more fun. So, this episode, just like we've done in the last few seasons, it seems to work very well, and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on it, is we do a long episode, and then we do mini episode, long, mini, and we just alternate.
It's nice for us and nice for you guys.
Yeah, it makes things way easier on us, which is delightful. The mini-series for this one, so we've done caves, bogs, volcanoes, ecosystems of things like that, so we decided to switch it up a little bit. And now we're going to be talking about the nature of swarms. So how swarms, they move as one to survive, communicate, thrive, and animal swarms are nature's most dynamic displays of collective behavior.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is pretty cool.
Actually, this is one of the ones where we were still on the same brainwave. I had to come back 3 times.
To this one?
You got your ideas in first, and then I tried, and then I tried it, and then I tried again.
I tried again. And I tried again. So since this is the first episode, they're going to be talking about swarms. I figured it was, as we normally do, kind of give an overview of what is a swarm. Now, I have to directly read this definition because I laughed probably way harder than I should have.
Perfect.
At the definition of what a swarm is, because I never really thought about it. Like, okay, what's but you don't really think about it.
Right, like it's just a lot of animals? I don't know.
Yeah. So, a swarm is a large collection of self-propelled creatures.
Rather than a catapult launched.
Exactly. Unlike the creatures we launch into the skies and, those aren't swarms. So, put away my trebuchet. These are all animals that are self-propelled that move together as a coordinated group without a central leader. And that is the key. Okay. Without a leader. So like I said, the central leader is the key term because if they had a leader, one, they'd be a cult. But if they had or if it was any sort of organized single leader or a leader distribution system. So if you think of any herds, troops, that is a normal group of animals, there's some sort of hierarchy. Wolves, for example, is a really good one, where it's like a strict hierarchy, or it's more of a collective like elephants. So you don't see the females fighting. It's an age thing and a knowledge thing, but you still have that hierarchy of this is the female, the matriarch that we listen to and things. So a swarm, though, does not have a central leader or a leader system, and they're all apparently self-propelled. So
fascinating.
Just to
I feel like there must be like some caveats to this. I'll be interested to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Or is this going to be a situation where we're like dino, not a dino, swarm, not a swarm?
I mean, maybe, but I know the ones that I've picked so far definitely fit this definition. And again, it was like one of those things I never really thought of until I saw the definition. I was like, oh yeah, the self-propelled thing, I'm still...
I love that they had to add that part in.
Right? I'm still skeptical about that one, but alrighty. So swarming behavior, just again, kind of a brief overview. Swarming behavior typically emerges from simple rules. Stay close, align with your neighbors, avoid collisions. Honestly, for the most part, that's it. All right. And so with that little tidbit of what a swarm actually is.
Stay close.
All right. Enter starlings.
Yes, this is what I wanted to do that you already had.
Yeah, of course, because this one is
it's so cool.
It is really cool. All right, so what are starlings besides invasive to the United States? The European starlings are loud, glossy black birds speckled with an iridescent purple greenish. They're medium sized.
Star speckles.
What?
They look like stars, like
they
little
do.
Stars all over them.
It really does, yeah. They're medium sized. They're highly social and adaptable. And like I said, they're invasive here to the US. So where can they be found? Native to Europe and Asia. They've since spread pretty much all over the world, including over 150 million, just an estimate of over 150 million in North America.
They were purposefully released here in North America.
Horrible idea.
They were, because it was all to do with Shakespeare.
Oh, that's right.
People
That's right.
liked that idea of what you were going to talk about. And then they were like, let's bring it here, not thinking what would happen.
Yeah, they had no concept of animal repercussions in the day. So what do they eat? They're typically opportunistic omnivores, feeding on insects, worms, grains, fruit, and even human scraps if need be. That's why you see them around parking lots and things like that. That flexible diet helps to support their vast swarms, not flocks. I mean, they still fly in flocks. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Overall, for the most part, birds and they're flying in flocks. But there is a time where they do swarm, and it's called a murmuration. All right. So if you've ever seen one, or if you haven't seen one, let me at least attempt to describe it for you. And Laura, let me know.
Murmuration.
Huh?
Murmuration.
Murmuration. Yeah. What did I say?
Murmuration.
Murmuration.
It's your bits of her. So it just sounds like you're saying murmuration.
No,
but it's murmuration.
Yeah. Murmuration.
There's some little motorcycles.
Yeah. That would have made it way cooler if they had these tiny little... It's a murmuration of starlings.
Jeez.
So imagine you're standing in a wide open field, because I guarantee you've seen it and probably been like, what the heck is that? You're standing in a field at sunset, because sunset is typically when you're going to commonly see them to do this. And suddenly you see a cloud forming on the horizon. It's not smoke, and it's moving, and it's alive. Thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of starlings swoop in, twisting and curling through the sky in one massive shape-shifting flock. 1 second it might look like a wave, the next it folds in on itself, kind of like if a lung, exhaling sort of thing. It stretches, compresses, ripples like a sheet or a blanket in the wind, moving not like birds, but more like a liquid shadow.
Yeah, totally. Like a liquid or some kind of smoky aerosol.
Yep. And then as you're watching that, in an instant, the whole thing just pivots. And if they all decided at once, let's just go this way. All right. So it's like very rhythmic, very flowing. And all of a sudden it's like whoop. And it just, everybody, it is almost like it's one creature and not thousands of individual ones. So that is the murmuration. It's not just movement, but it is truly like subconscious math, instinct, and survival playing out on their part. In Denmark, one of the most famous murmurations happens every spring near the marshes of southwestern Jutland, where more than 1 million starlings gather at once, and locals call it the Black Sun.
Whoa, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So why do starlings do this? It's not just for the effects of being like, let's give humans a show.
Aerial circuses.
Yeah. No, one is for the most part, they think it's, not three, two main purposes. One, predator defense. When you're small, tasty, and flying over an open marsh, you need a good strategy for not becoming hawk food. And the murmurations, they work. All that shifting and swirling makes it look incredibly hard for predators like falcons or hawks to single out one individual bird. And that's called the confusion effect. It's an aerial version of basically which cup is the...
Full of fish.
Yeah, the ball under. It's what cup is like, they don't know where to go, what to grab.
Yeah.
The second reason why they do this is warmth and cohesion. So in the winter, that's why I'm saying, like, typically at sunset, these giant murmurations help signal to other starlings, hey, we're going to roost for the night. Come join us over here. And they're like, oh, let's go over there. They join it. And that way it's a bigger group to stay warmer. Because not all starlings migrate. Some of them do. Not all of them do. And so some of them stay in colder temperatures. And so you'll see them doing those murmurations as like a, hey, guys, come over here. We're going to need more.
It's literally just a giant wave motion. Like, hey.
Yeah. Come over here. Stay warm. Stay warm. But all these movements and everything are not random. These starlings are not just kind of flapping around in panic, so to say. They're following rules. Like I said, simple ones, but collective as a whole, they're rules. So how does that actually work? There are tens of thousands of birds moving in a single swirling organism with out slamming into each other seems nearly impossible to pull off. The short answer to this is they follow local rules, is what it's called. Again, no single leader, like I said, because that's the definition of a swarm. There's no single leader just being like, now, left, all together now kind of thing. Each starling is just following a few simple instructions, which mostly involve the 6 or 7 birds that are closest to it.
Just looking at your neighbor.
Yep, so those simple rules are match your neighbor's speed, don't crash into anybody, and for the love of flight, just stay in formation. Like that's
love of flight.
Just stay together. That's pretty much it. And because it's not because of just one leader, it's about like local interaction, which repeats across the entire flock.
Yeah, and that rippling effect.
Yep, and that's what ends up happening. Now here's where it gets stranger but cool. So researchers started using high-speed 3D tracking cameras, and as they were using those, they found something that they call scale-free correlations. So they set up cameras from several different locations and created a 3D model of the swarm to study what the starlings are actually doing. Say again?
And what the shape really is.
Yeah, like what's triggering it? Like what is actually happening here? Because again, if it's truly a swarm, there's no single leader, so it's not one bird calling all the shots, and it certainly wasn't that. So the one thing that they found is that the birds are not as densely packed as they might appear from the ground. Again, that's survival. They want to appear as one huge, big, massive organism. They don't want to appear as something small, tiny kind of thing. So they are closer to their side neighbors than to those in front or behind, which is interesting. All right. So I mentioned the term free scale correlation. So what is that? It's essentially if one bird twitches because of a predator, wind shift, or it's feeling like something's off, the entire flock reacts. It's just a domino effect. And it's essentially instantly. And that's because of those rules that are match your neighbor's speed, don't crash into anybody, and just stay in formation. And that's all that they have in their head. And that's what ends up happening. And that's how they get that instantaneous move. So where do the turns start? Turns can begin in any part of the flock, either edge-initiated fluctuations. So some studies have showed that the turns often begin at the edges, where birds have more room to experiment or respond to outside threats. Their movements then ripple inwards, like the first domino tipping over a chain reaction. There's central sensitivity, but birds in the middle aren't necessarily just going with the flow. They can see through, because remember, they're not as close as what it appears. So the ones in the middle can definitely see out and see what's coming. And so by seeing through the flock, they can respond to subtle shifts, even initiating movement themselves.
Gotcha.
And yes, sometimes the murmuration flips because of something the center bird detects and the signal follows. So like, let's say if you're a bird in the middle and you can see way off in the distance, there's a hawk. If that bird moves, it's like, oh my gosh, we're all moving now kind of thing. All right. So in a nutshell, what the murmurations are, I mean, I don't know if you have any questions. I did a good bit of research onto these, but I mean, not a ton, because again, it's a minisode. But I thought it was really cool. Yeah. It's something that you see often.
And if you haven't, like, you definitely need to try to. Like, if you don't live in a country where there are starlings, look up a video, because the murmurations are beautiful.
Yeah, it is very memorizing. Like, it is something that you're watching and you're just like kind of stuck, watching it.
Because you just can't believe that many things can move in that sort of coordination. Like, it's like perfection.
Yes.
Of coordinated flight.
So murmuration. So make sure you guys visit Patreon, like us on social media. If you just search up Wildly Curious Podcast on any of the social media platforms, you'll be able to find us. Definitely subscribe to us on YouTube, because that's where you can see our faces and everything that all the motions and everything that we do. Yeah,
all of our hand things that we just did. Yeah,
you guys that are only listening in the podcast version, you guys are missing some amazing all the hand motions here. All right. So next week then we're going to be having a regular long episode, and then we'll go back to swarms and vice versa. So until next week, guys. Oh yeah, wait, we got to jam out. They got to jam out to the song now. Yeah.
Stay tuned. Don't go away.
Yeah, don't go away. You guys got to jam out here.
But talk to you next week.
Ever wonder why a bat might glow, or how frogs made it to space long ago? Dinosaurs trained for delivery. asking the questions, the weird ones.